the Anycubic Photon Mono X 6K. Let's give it a review. Hey guys! Anycubic's much loved Mono X has had an upgrade. I reviewed the Mono X when it first came out and I loved it. And if you haven't seen that review, that's really the place to start. I found it to be a quality machine that produces excellent prints. It's hard to imagine how it can be improved upon if I'm honest, but thanks to Anycubic I have the 6K version here, so let's get started. Now don't look for massive differences here because, as I said, this is an upgrade, not a replacement. So the 6K and the 4K X's externally have the same dimensions, the same user screen, the same number of fans, the same style and position Wi-Fi antenna, the same switch, the same USB port. In fact, let's not beat about the bush here, they're very similar. But there are a few differences. Noticeably, the build plate has the same checkered pattern that I first saw on the Anycubic Photon Ultra DLP, and I don't personally think this is a gimmick. Prints stick like stink to the Ultra plate, so there shouldn't be any adhesion issues with the 6K. The print size has increased by a whopping 5mm, and the width by a staggering 2mm. So those desperate to print a matchstick or another print support now have the room. Sideways at least, as there's no extra print height with the 6K. But with all joking aside, an increase in build area is always welcome, and it's due to the increased monochrome screen size, stretching from 8.9 inches to 9.25 inches. This screen also gives us some improvements that we can't actually see, namely a more powerful light matrix, which improves uniformity for crisper edges and also allegedly increases print speed, though they're not overly clear whether they're comparing with non-mono screens in their literature, so I'd take that bit with a pinch of salt. Thankfully, however, this new screen gives us 6K, and that, from what I can see, is what this upgrade is really all about. In terms of pixels, we're seeing a substantial increase, jumping from 3840 by 2400 to 5760 by 3600. Anycubic tell us that this increase in XY could print at a resolution of 34 microns, and that's the sort of print quality we're used to seeing on printers like the Mars Ultra 4K and the Frozen Sonic 4K. So whilst this new 6K screen gives us the equivalent print of 4K at the plate, it does this over a much bigger area than the Mars or the Sonic can possibly give us. But talk is cheap, so let's see what the Mono X 6K can actually do. I had a bottle of Anycubic Grey to hand, and using the version of Photon Workshop software that came with the printer, I stuck with the standard settings already added by Anycubic. As usual, I began with the Amerilabs Town Test print, and sure enough, it looked lost in the middle of this large plate. As suspected, it certainly stuck firmly. Upon cleanup, it has to be said that it is a very impressive looking print. For something so tiny, there's bags of detail here, and thanks to the magic of television, we can compare this with the one I made on the original Mono X. I think it's fair to say the quality difference is obvious. This meant I could have a go at doing something with more detail, and as usual I turned to our friends at ARCHVILLAIN Games, who had a knoll that certainly ticked all the boxes for me. I loaded everything onto the plate and marvelled at all the space that was left over. I could easily have squeezed in a 2-inch miniature, so instead I included the open source ring to give us an idea of the sort of jewellery quality we can expect on this printer. As expected, Photon Workshop lied to me. I've often found this. It told me the print would take approximately 7 hours, but in truth it was more like double that. I don't blame the printer for this, just the software. Now, I've never really been a fan of Photon Workshop, and no doubt some of you will want to know if the Mono X 6K will be accessible via third-party slicer software, such as Lychee, or whether it will be locked into Photon Workshop, or worse, G2Box. Well, I've contacted Anycubic on this issue, and I quote, "The launch will only be in the latest version of Photon Workshop. It will gradually accept other slicing softwares to give users different choices in the future." And this makes perfect sense, as third parties need to catch up with every new release. And at least it reassures us that there will be no nasty software lockouts. Once the printer had done its thing, I had the fun of removing the prints from the build plate. And fun it was. That was me swearing as I hit my thumb across the edge of the plate. The prints stick very well to this plate. In fact, I'd say too well. If you ever wanted a flexible plate, this is the time. After cleanup, I was initially unimpressed with these prints, but the fault here was 100% mine. I used both IPA and ethanol to clean these prints, which resulted in blotchy patches that I initially thought were excessive layer lines. But after a very thin splash of primer, I concluded to use either IPA or ethanol, but never both at the same time. So looking at the print more closely now, I am impressed. There's some wonderful detail here, especially as it was printed with a layer height of 0.05. If we look at the open source ring, we can see it did an excellent job there too. Certainly as good as we've seen on the Mars 3. So is the Mono X 6K any good? Well, yes, of course it is. The Mono X is a great printer. It has a great build quality, a responsive and clear touchscreen, nice wide dual rails for smoother wobble-free printing, Wi-Fi connectivity with your mobile phone, and a very large build area. What the 6K is giving us over the 4K is a tiny bit more build volume, but most particularly improved print quality. Now this is tangible. It can be hard to see with the naked eye, but as we're getting better and finer print quality these days, it's getting harder to see without magnification. But if you're going to ask me, does the 6K print better than the 4K? Then yes, it certainly does. And it's my understanding that there will now be two Mono X's available for purchase, the 4K and the 6K models, which gives you more buying options. Unfortunately, right now, I've no idea what the sale price will be for the 6K, so I simply cannot quantify whether the difference in print quality will be worth the difference in price. I guess you'll have to judge that for yourselves when prices become available. But for now, I can tell you that I like what I see. It's the same old good stuff that we've had before, but printing better than ever before. And after all, that's the whole point of a printer, right? So that's the end of this review, guys. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to drop me a line. So take care, guys, and thanks for watching.